Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video we are thrifting at two different thrift stores and then I'm showing you a haul. So let's go back in time to the thrift with me. So at the first store I saw this City Chic dress. This is a plus size brand that I occasionally like to sell. This was brand new with tags, as you can see, and a very sparkly dress, but at $17 it was just too expensive. This is Evereve. This is a brand I used to like to pick up, but I don't really like it anymore. It was too plain and $7 was just too much. Next up we have an older Anthropologie. This is Millet Soars, and I just thought $5 was too much for this plain older dated dress, so I left that behind. Next up, I liked this piece. This is Ishakde, and I thought it was cute, but $13 was just way too much. I would maybe pay like $3 or $4. I looked this next brand up. It's brand new with tags. It's called Summery Copenhagen, and I was intrigued because of the thick brand tag, and when I looked up comps on it, it just seemed like they were kind of all over the place, and I didn't want to take a risk on it. I'm not a big risk taker anymore just because things are not really moving, so there are some comps on that brand. The next piece is Gal Meets Glam. I used to love this brand, but I just no longer sell it. It just sits for a very long time, even though it is discontinued, and this was just really plain. Then we have Bowden. This was an okay piece, but I'm pretty picky with Bowden, so I just thought that was too expensive and I left it behind. I was intrigued by this Anthropologie Millet Soars dress because of the lace, and it was just a little bit dressier, so I did look up comps on this, and I found two different comps. Neither one of them had sold. This is a Poshmark listing. Someone had it at $75. And then next up I found it on eBay as well, and the eBay price was significantly cheaper, and still it was not selling. I used Google Lens to look this up. I just literally took a picture right there in the thrift store of the item and it popped up. So you can see here is the eBay listing, and at $32 it still wasn't selling. So to me it just didn't seem like a good buy, so I left it behind. Then we have a new with tag Sachi and Bobby dress. I've sold this a few times and I found that it really does sit, so I left both of these behind. This is another new with tag Sachi and Bobby dress. Sometimes my thrift store gets some like liquidation pieces. Then we have Eileen Fisher for $6, and I am just not an Eileen Fisher fan. It just sits and sits and sits for me, so maybe I would pay like $2 for it. This is an example of a Sundance piece I left behind. I just thought it was too expensive. Equipment is another brand that I used to pick up, but I no longer pick up because it just doesn't do very well. Then we have a pair of Tory Burch shoes. I would have been so excited for these a few years ago, but these just sit for me now. Rag & Bone at $4. It was just really plain, and Rag & Bone is another one that will just sit for me now. Now at the second store, I found a bunch of Kate Spade, which is another designer brand that I left behind. I've actually sold these shoes before very early in my reselling journey. This is Kate Spade and Keds, and they were even missing the laces, so I left those behind as well. And then I found a Kate Spade bag, so I think someone broke up with their Kate Spade collection. But you can see it has a lot of wear, and then they still priced it pretty heavily. This is Show Me Your Moo, their bridesmaid's dress, and I left this behind as well. It was just way too expensive, and Show Me Your Moo just doesn't do very well. This is an example of a Free People shirt that is way overpriced. And lastly, we have a Harley Davidson shirt, which I would have picked up years ago, but I no longer sell Harley. It just sits for me. I have been super selective as of late just because I don't have a lot of time to list, and also the buyers are pretty sparse on my end, so I am trying to really get the most bang for my buck. So my thrift hauls are definitely going to be shorter than they used to be. These are pieces that I am really hoping are going to flip very quickly. So let's start with what I got at the first thrift store to resell. So up first, we have a new to me brand, and part of the reason why I was so comfortable taking a gamble on this is because it was 75% off, making it about $1.50. This is called Paul and Joe Sister. I've never heard of this before. This is in a size 38, which I believe is equivalent to an extra small. And the cat print is really what caught my attention. I like a good novelty print. It looks like it's got a Siamese cat on there, and then also a black cat. And I just really like the pale pink color. It's a very easygoing silhouette. I think it'll be flattering on a lot of people. So I looked this brand up, and the comps were very varied. but overall it seemed like they were going anywhere from like $40 to $60. I did find one comp for this dress, and I believe it was going for $50, or it had already sold for $50, I should say. So that's definitely promising. There is a little bit of wear right here on the zipper. I don't know if you guys can super see that where my finger is. It's just like a little bit of tattering, which of course I will disclose, and that will affect the value a little bit. The zipper still completely works. So I think I'm going to start this at maybe like 35 and then take offers from there. Again, it was very calculated gamble because I didn't pay much for it. And I always like a good novelty print. I love learning about a new brand. So hopefully this one will be a winner. I paid about $6 for this next piece, but I am familiar with this brand. This is a brand called Remy Brook. I've sold this brand many times, and they always have a silhouette very similar to this. This is in a size extra small, and this is sold on websites like Nordstrom, Revolve, etc. And hit or miss luck with this brand, to be honest, but I really love this teal color. It's always got this drop waist. That's kind of what they're known for, and then always like an elastic waistband as well, so very stretchy. Love that it's long sleeve, and the sleeves again are going to be elastic, so very comfortable, I would say. Personally, I cannot do a drop waist. I just always feel like I don't have enough of a torso for that. It always looks very odd on me, but if you could pull this off, I think that it would just be lovely on you. I love this like jewel tone, and I've had dresses by this brand sell anywhere from $30 to $75, so I'll probably start this one optimistically at like 75 or 60 and then accept offers from there. I always am sending out offers that are very generous because I like to keep things moving. Right, up next is the first item I put in my cart to resell, and this is not a brand that I pick up just solely based on the brand. This was more of a style specific find. This was $4. This is the brand Sundance, which you guys know is a catalog brand, although I have actually seen a few Sundance stores as of recent, but I believe it started as a catalog brand. This is in a size large, and again, this is a brand that used to be like perfect bread and butter for me, but now I have found that it really does sit for me, so I am very selective. But I really like how bohemian this dress is. It's very flowy, it's oversized. I love all of this embroidery right here. In fact, I thought when I first saw it, maybe it was Johnny Was. And I wasn't disappointed necessarily to see that it was Sundance, although I obviously would have preferred Johnny Was. But definitely still a good pickup. I'm probably gonna start this off at $40 and take offers. I just think it's really bohemian, really fun. I could see this with some Birkenstocks, some like Tory Burch sandals, or even some little booties, so very versatile as well. And the last piece that I got to resell from the first thrift store, I actually have Mogi Beth to thank for this brand pickup. I saw on one of her reels that she had picked this brand up on ThredUp. It was under their assorted brand, and that it sold really quickly, so I knew this was a brand to be on the lookout for. I believe it's pronounced Thea or Tia, and just kind of those big letters and that like very pronounced E right there that's a little bit different would have given me the tip off that maybe I should look it up. This is in a size 2, and admittedly this style is a little bit dated. It has this detachable belt if you want to use it. So I was looking at comps for this dress, and if you can find a long formal dress, you're looking at like $150 to $200, but realistically I'm probably thinking like maybe $40 to $60 on this one. There is a little bit of like deodorant wear, if you can see that right there on the inner lining, so nothing that's going to detract from the value too terribly much. But I will of course disclose that I definitely think this is a little bit outdated, but it does seem as though you can remove it. So that is definitely something that I will disclose, that you can either leave it or remove it. So I definitely wish that I would have found a better dress in this brand, but I'm curious to see how it does. I paid $4 for this dress as well. And then at the second store, I do have to be a little bit even more selective because it is more expensive, but I did find 2 pieces to resell. If you cannot tell, I love reselling dresses, and part of that is because I personally just love to wear dresses. So it is the most exciting portion of the thrift store for me. I love to source, but after a while I definitely lose steam. So I like to start with those dresses. I'm excited still. There can be a lot of money in dresses because people are willing to splurge a little bit more on a dress that's gonna make them look put together as opposed to, you know, just a casual knit t-shirt. So I did find 2 dresses at this next store, and at first we have a maxi dress. This is by the brand Billy Resort and Travel, which I have actually never sold before. This is different than Millie with a Y. This is Millie with an IE, but I have heard of this brand before. It really caught my eye with it being a maxi dress. It's got these stripes that have floral details in there as well. Again, it's an extra small, but I definitely do think a small could comfortably fit into it. It kind of reminds me of like a Hill House silhouette. There's a little bit of a puff to the sleeve, but without it being super overwhelming. You can tell that it's just like really well made. The stitching on there is just really compact, really good. You know that you're getting a really nicely made garment. All of this pleating up here on the collar as well. And then it does drop into a V. So I think this is just one of those perfect dresses that you don't really want to think about it, but you want to look put together. So you pull this on, you pull on like a necklace, and you got your sandals, and you are good to go. So I'm excited to see how this will do. I will leave some comps up here because quite frankly, I'm not even sure how it will do, but I paid $8 for this. I also paid $8 for this next dress. This is the 3rd time I've found this brand in a month, and I'm certainly not complaining, but it does definitely kind of show me that this brand is very diluted now. This is Reformation. So the 2 other Reformation pieces that I have found this month, they actually have already sold. They sold I think each for, I think one sold for $50 and one sold for $52. This is in a size small, nice red color, and it's got like this like bustier type of detailing right there. Sorry, I was blanking there for a second. Type of detailing there. And then it's also, this kind of cracked me up, it's also got the butt scrunch. Personally, not for me, but I know that that is definitely very on trend. Normally I think Reformation runs very small, but I think this could honestly fit a medium. It's got so much stretch to it just because of the material content. There's also a slit in the back right here. So definitely a show-stopping dress, but because the material is so stretchy and is so comfortable, you're not going to be uncomfortable all night. So I need to look up exact comps on this style of dress, but I again did pay $8 for it. And then moving on to things that I did source for myself. I haven't talked about it yet, but my husband and I are expecting a baby girl at the end of December or early January, just deciding when she wants to make her appearance. My due date is December 29th, but we'll see when Miss Chloe wants to arrive. So it's almost like I've unlocked a new section of the thrift store, and I have been thrifting all of her clothes. Baby clothes are just adorable, and I've been really mindful of the sizes I'm picking up, so I'm not picking up too much of one specific size. And everyone's like, you're saving so much money by doing this instead of, you know, going to Carter's or Old Navy, even those like more budget friendly stores, because at the thrift store kids clothing like $2–3, oftentimes even less. In fact, I went to a Once Upon a Child sale, and it was a fill a bag sale, and I think I ended up paying like 67 cents per item, and I mean they're all very cute. So these are some things that I'm still picking up for her. My husband is definitely like, hey, maybe we have enough clothes, and I'm like, don't ever say that to a girl or a woman again. There's never enough clothes, and when she grows out of them, we will obviously like probably lock them up, or I'll send them to ThredUp or something. There will be some sort of money coming back to us. So I definitely think we're gonna be okay, even if I just keep sourcing her all of these very adorable items. So I don't really super care about the brand on her clothes. It's just more like, do I like the style? do I think that it's well made. But this is Janie and Jack, which is a good brand. It is very expensive retail. This is 0 to 3 months, and it's just a cute little dress with some cherries on it. There's that elastic right there. And I really like Janie and Jack out of most of the baby brands. I don't love all of their pieces, but most of the time that style very much so does appeal to me. And this is another Janie and Jack piece. This one again is 0 to 3 months, and it is this very light yellow color, super cute. It's got all these little bows right here and this pleated detail, the Swiss polka dot. So she doesn't have much yellow. I have definitely kind of geared towards the pinks, so I'm trying to pick some other colors as well. And then she won't wear this one for a while, but this is 12 months Jessica Simpson, and I feel like this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Of course, I do wash all of these pieces before hanging them up in her closet or putting them in her dresser. I definitely want to make sure they are clean for her and not going to irritate her skin. But I think this is a really cute little boho top. Jessica Simpson is another baby brand that I just really like, that I just think it's cute, it's simple. Then we have Wonder Kids. These are 18 months, just a pair of little pull-on jeans. I love the rolled cuff. There is just something about babies in like fake jeans that I just think is so cute with their little rolls. So always need a good pair of denim. I'm gonna teach her that early. Then a pair of shorts. This is Nicole Miller, 6 to 9 months, and these are so cute with the ruffle hem. And I will say she definitely has a lot of onesies and dresses for when she's a little bit older, but I am definitely lacking on the shorts and pants. This is Jessica Simpson again. I'm a huge fan of heart print, 12 months, and this one's just a cute little like thermal style top. Hearts all right there, so that would be cute with a pair of jeans. 0 to 3 months. There's no brand on this, but I just really like this purple color. It does have the buttons in the back, which I know it probably hates because buttons on a baby not the best. I know for the like full footsie like sleeper onesies, I definitely prefer the zippers. I have babysat quite often in my life, and I babysat babies. It's gonna be honest, it's not my favorite stage. I definitely prefer like toddler and up. For those of you that don't know, I have taught kindergarten, I've taught first grade, and then in this upcoming school year I'm going to teach second grade. So the little ones, they are definitely my jam, but babies, you know, they're very fragile. So all that to say, I know these are definitely going to be the pain in my butt, and I'm probably going to regret it. Definitely snaps on the onesies or zippers. Then we have some shorts. These are just Carter's, 9 months. I really like this like clay terracotta color, again with a little ruffle. Another onesie, again with the hearts. This is Rabbit Bear, 0 to 3 months. She has a lot of 3 to 6 months and 6 to 9 months, because you know, you never know like how big your baby's gonna be. You never know how rapidly your baby is going to grow. So some of the advice I've gotten is like stay away from newborn in 0 to 3 months, because you probably won't use it that long. So of course I am getting her a few pieces in those sizes, but I'm focusing more on the bigger sizes just in general. And if we need to get her more, I'll stop at the thrift store, you know, we'll make it work. Okay, these are cute. These are Old Navy, 12 to 18, and I just thought these were like just a nice pair of like fake linen pants. They're actually cotton, but I thought like this with the Jessica Simpson blue top, like it could be such a little look, you know. There she goes, our little boho girl. I see the vision. Hopefully you do too. Okay, so this next piece I am actually not going to put in Chloe's closet. I am going to resell this, but I thought this was crazy. So because I was in the kids section, I happened to find this. This is Zimmerman, which is a very expensive clothing brand. They make women's things as well. This is in a size 2T, and it's a little floral romper with these adorable ties. And I just, listen, my daughter does not need to wear designer, even if it's secondhand. And I mean, it's cute, but like, I don't know, I'm not in love with it by any means, so I would just rather sell it and see what happens there and not have to worry about her like getting a designer piece that I know I can make money on, like so dirty and in play condition. So I'm probably just going to resell this one. I'm not in love with the the yellowy chartreuse color personally. I think that's really what it is that is like not doing it for me. I mean, it's adorable, don't get me wrong, but it's just not worth it to me. Hey kids, sorry you're not wearing designer stuff as a baby. All right, so then these are really cute. These are Star Wars tutu leggings. This is in a size 12, and this is a collaboration with Happy Threads. And she has a few with the little like baby Yoda. I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but my husband is. And we have like a running gag. I said that our Chihuahua Peanut, that he looks like baby Yoda because he has those big like butterfly ears. My husband was like, you're crazy, baby Yoda's green, Peanut is like reddish brown, there is no resemblance there. And I was like, trust me, there's a resemblance there. I said, if you don't believe me, you know, post this on Instagram. This is like 2 or 3 years ago. And he said, okay, be prepared to be proven wrong. So he put it up as a poll. He put a picture of Peanut that I picked out where the ears were just like baby Yoda's. And I think like 79% of people were like, yes, he looks like baby Yoda. So eat your words, Chris, I was right. But just some really cute little things. And then again with our little gag there, but I just thought this was adorable. I do love the little tutu. Then this will be when she's much older, and I'm trying to stay away from buying things from when she's like significantly older, but I do have bins that I put it in by size so that when we are ready for that stage, she has some clothes. But this is a 4T, and my husband went to Texas A&M Law School, so we are all about the Aggies. We're also about the Baylor Bears. So this is just a cute skirt. She does already have a cheerleading outfit. Because I live in Texas, I am able to find a lot of baby Texas A&M gear. So she does have the cheerleading outfit for both Baylor and Texas A&M that I have just found at the thrift store. So really kismet there. And the next piece is new with tags. So I'll just take the tags off and wash this, but this was originally $19 I paid for. So again, crazy good deal. These are Oshkosh. Okay, I am not an overall person for myself. Like adults in overalls, like I'm always like, not really for me. It's giving like art teacher. No offense if you like overalls. I know they're really comfortable, but I have just never liked them. I vividly remember being like 8 years old and my mom trying to put me in overalls, and me just being like, I'm not wearing that. So all that to say, I love babies in overalls though. So pair of Oshkosh overalls. It's got the heart pocket, plus it's got the heart prints all down. So just so cute. I'm a big fan of like the overall dresses too by Oshkosh. Super, super adorable. When I showed my mother-in-law some of the pieces I picked out, they were a lot of Oshkosh pieces, and she was like, I dress my boys in Oshkosh too. So definitely still on trend. And then like I was talking about with the little onesie sleepers, I prefer the zip. Obviously you want to make sure you don't get your baby's skin, but this is a cute rainbow sleeper. It's got the feet in there as well, and this is 0 to 3 months, which is the size that I definitely did need for her. Then another pair of jeans, just Carter's, 3 months. Again, she just needs some smaller pants just in case she is super teeny tiny. Size 12 shorts, always with a little ruffle trim. So that is all of the clothing. I do have some books as well. So this one's not for Chloe, this one's for me. This is Pretty Guilty Women, and I've never heard of this before, but the tagline is 4 women, 4 confessions, 1 murder. So just like a domestic thriller, one of those fast-paced ones. They're very hit or miss for me. I'm also a really tough critic. If you love to read, then my Goodreads is always linked down below. You feel free to follow me, I will follow you back. That is for me. Then for Chloe, I did get this little Winnie the Pooh collection. I love collecting books for her. As I just said, I am a huge reader, so it's very important to me that we have some books for her. So this is 7 books in one. I love Winnie the Pooh. I just think he is so classic. My husband's name is Chris, so he always likes Winnie the Pooh because of Christopher Robin, because I think that's what his mom used to call him. And then some board books. We have Your Baby's First Word Will Be Dada by Jimmy Fallon, and I just wiped these down and then How to Babysit a Grandpa, which I read this one in just like the paperback version, that's not the board book version, and this is just like a really fun, silly series. And then we have Pop-Up Peekaboo Farm, always great whenever you can find a cool little pop-up book that's not completely destroyed. This one is missing just a few pieces, it looks like, but nothing too crazy. Of course, kids love pop-up books. Even my first graders, they have a few at my school library that they can't check out because they're so worried that they're going to get damaged, but they're allowed to look at them while they're in the library. And even my first graders are, you know, sitting there enjoying the pop-ups. So just something always really fun for the kids. But that is everything that I got today. If you are interested in anything that I am reselling, definitely check out my Poshmark closet down below. By the time you're seeing this, hopefully everything will be posted. And if you did enjoy this video, please do make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you are not already, hit that subscribe button. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!